Have you ever sat down to get something important done, only to end up scrolling on your phone for hours? You told yourself, just 5 minutes, but 5 minutes turned into 30, then an hour, then the whole day vanished. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're trapped in a loop. Procrastination isn't just a bad habit. It's a psychological, trepan, emotional one. And unless you understand the truth behind it, you'll keep falling into it again and again. But today, we're going to break that cycle once and for all. This isn't another productivity hack. This is the only way to stop procrastinating forever. What is procrastination really? Let's get one thing clear. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's not that you don't care. It's not that you lack discipline. It's that your brain is trying to protect you. Psychologists define procrastination as the voluntary delay of an intended action despite expecting to be worse off for the delay. You know it's bad. You know it'll hurt you, but you do it anyway. Why? Because deep down, your brain is associating the task with pain, stress, anxiety, overwhelm, fear of failure, perfectionism, even boredom. And so your brain, trying to avoid that pain, directs you towards something that gives you instant relief. Netflix, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, snacking, cleaning, even daydreaming. These are not just distractions. They are escapes. And the longer you delay, the heavier the task becomes. So what's happening biologically? When you're about to do something difficult, your amygdala brain sphere center fires up. It says, this feels threatening. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thinking and decision-making, gets overridden. So it's not a lack of willpower. It's a neurological tug-of-war, and most people don't even know it's happening. Until now, why motivation doesn't work? You've probably heard the advice. Just find your motivation. But let me ask you something. If motivation really worked, wouldn't you already be done with everything on your list? Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. It's a fleeting emotion, not a strategy. Waiting to feel motivated is like waiting for lightning to strike in the same place twice. The truth is, action precedes motivation, not the other way around. Want to feel inspired? Start moving. Want to feel disciplined? Start doing. The real shift happens when you stop relying on how you feel and start building systems that override those feelings. Because if you wait until you feel like it, you'll wait forever. The root of procrastination, emotional avoidance. At its core, procrastination is not a time management problem. It's an emotion management problem. Think about it. The task itself isn't the enemy. It's how the task makes you feel. You're not avoiding the report. You're avoiding the feeling of not knowing where to start. You're not avoiding the gym. You're avoiding the feeling of discomfort or inadequacy. You're not avoiding the conversation. You're avoiding potential rejection or confrontation. So how do we fix this? We don't just organize our calendars. We don't just set timers. We go deeper. We train ourselves to sit with discomfort, to face emotional resistance head on. Because once you do that, the spell of procrastination breaks. The only way out, the 5-minute rule, here it is. The only way to stop procrastinating isn't about willpower or discipline. It's about tricking your brain into action. It's called the 5-minute rule. Here's how it works. Commit to doing the task for just 5 minutes. That's it. Not 30, not an hour, just 5. Why does it work? Because once you start, the resistance begins to fade. Action kills anxiety. The task that seemed overwhelming starts to feel manageable. And 9 times out of 10, you'll keep going. This isn't magic. It's momentum. It's biology. Once you take the first step, your brain shifts gears. Dopamine is released, focus increases. The prefrontal cortex re-engages. And suddenly you're in flow. The key isn't to finish the task. The key is to start it every single time. The habit of starting. You don't need to be a master of productivity. You just need to master one habit, the habit of starting. That's it. Build a life where you don't debate whether or not to do the thing. You just do it for 5 minutes. Use a timer. Set a reminder. Make it a ritual. Lower the barrier to entry so much that it feels ridiculous not to start. Because once starting becomes automatic, procrastination has no room to grow. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be willing to feel the discomfort, willing to face the unknown, willing to begin imperfectly. Reinforce. With identity, let's go deeper. Your behavior follows your identity. If you see yourself as someone who always procrastinates, you'll act accordingly. But what if you shifted that? What if every time you use the 5-minute rule, you told yourself, I'm the kind of person who takes action even when it's hard. Every small win reinforces that identity. Every micro action is a vote for the person you're becoming. Over time, that identity becomes your reality. So stop asking, how can I stop procrastinating? Start asking, who do I want to become? Then act accordingly. For 5 minutes, every day. Antidotes to procrastination triggers. Procrastination often shows up in specific patterns. Let's break some of the most common ones. Overwhelm. Break it down. Focus on the smallest next step. Perfectionism. Give yourself permission to do a bad first draft. Fear of failure. Reframe it as feedback. You're learning, not losing. Lack of clarity. Clarify the outcome. Define what done looks like. Distraction. Change your environment. Use website blockers. Put your phone in another room. You don't need a perfect strategy. You need an effective one. And effectiveness comes from consistency, not complexity. Real life application and story. Let me tell you a story. There was a college student, let's call her Sarah, who always struggled with essays. She'd wait until the last minute, pull all-nighters, cry, panic, submit, barely finished work. But then she learned the 5-minute rule. The next time she had an essay, she didn't tell herself, I need to finish the introduction. She told herself, I'm just going to open the document and write for 5 minutes. That 5 minutes turned into 20, then an hour. She finished the essay 2 days early. That one change rewired her approach to work. She started applying it everywhere, studying, job applications, even workouts. She stopped fearing the task. She just started, and it changed her life. Now imagine what it can do for yours. So here we are. You now know the truth. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's emotional avoidance. Motivation is a myth. Action creates momentum. The 5-minute rule is the bridge between who you are and who you're becoming. Now, I want you to take one task you've been avoiding. Just one. Set a timer. Start for 5 minutes. That's all it takes to begin. Because here's the truth. You don't need to conquer the mountain. You just need to take the first step. And once you do, everything changes.